Is Toxic Flame still good? Can builds using it be competitive? The answer is yes. 3 of the top 10 last season were playing with Whirlwind Toxic Flame will/build. 4 of the top 10 this season are also playing with variations of this build. Now, I know what you're thinking, that's just in the America server. Not really. Right now, the top 10 in Asia is running Whirlwind Toxic Flame will/build. This guy, right here. So let's check the strongest player in America running this build. The main skills used is Whirlwind, Toxic Flame, and Will/. Whirlwind awakened with Origin, Toxic Flame with Verity, Will/ with Source. Whirlwind damage, not important. So it works fine at level 1 and most players keep it at level 1. Then why is this Whirlwind for this player awakened and with Candor essences? When you increase rarity, you actually move faster. So a Whirlwind at common rarity will reduce your movement speed by 35%. If you make it magic, then it's going to reduce your movement speed by 30%, then 25%, and then when you make it legendary, it will reduce your movement speed by 15%. So that's an incentive to increase the rarity of the Whirlwind. Also, when you increase rarity, you can increase weapon range, and hitting things can actually give you some bonuses. Now, when you awaken Whirlwind with Origin, you can get damage reduction, a 13% damage reduction, but you need a level 30 Whirlwind to awaken, and that is a problem. Because at level 1, Whirlwind costs 3 mana, and at level 33, because you get plus 3 levels from the armor, it will cost 5 times more. And that is why he puts Candor essences on the Whirlwind, because he wants to level up the dampen resource cost link rune and get as much mana discounts that he can. Here are the link runes he uses around Whirlwind. Channeling Enhancement is good, not because of the damage that it gives, but because it also reduces the damage that you take when you're channeling. Grand Approach will regenerate your max HP per second when you're hitting enemies. Toxic Flame, you want it awakened with Verity because it's going to allow you to attack at a 360 angle, and it also gives you plus 4 projectiles to help you with that. The usual link runes around Toxic Flame are the ones that give you more damage, meaning more damage amplification, like Mana Storm, Dot, Element Damage Amplification, Damage Acceleration, and Poison Penetration. Will/, you're gonna use it in intervals between Toxic Flame. The Source Awakening allows you to cast a puddle on the floor, and that puddle can stack multiple dots. It gives multiple stacks actually to the enemies that step on it. And here are the link runes around Will/. It's similar to Toxic Flame, except that you have melee damage amplification, and you also want to convert poison damage, otherwise you're gonna have to invest in 2 different elements, physical damage and element/poison damage. So by converting them, you can just invest in element damage. The area skills, Poison Area and Electric Area, they are used to amplify the damage of Toxic Flame and Will/, although Poison Area by itself also do a lot of damage. The Electric Area is used together with Poison Area, so every time you're casting Electric Area, you're also casting Poison Area. The Poison Area also has the usual link runes around it to help amplify damage. As far as enhancements go, Release Element to amplify damage and increase cast speed, and Tenacious Regeneration to increase the HP. Seal of Pain will amplify dot damage, Seal of Chaos Resist will increase your resistance to Chaos, but you can also switch between Chaos Resist and Seal of Physical Domain or Seal of Element Domain. Shout of Provocation activated when hit with an increased duration link rune. As far as movement goes, Roll and Penetrating Slash, Weaken Element Totem, and as the name says, you just use it to reduce the element resistance from the enemies so your attacks can do more damage. Now let's talk about the gear. Weapons. This build uses a 2-handed axe. Focus on damage amplification, attack spell damage, flat damage, attack spell damage percentage, and poison damage flat and poison damage linear percentage. Secondary options can be poison penetration, damage versus debuffed enemies, stats, element and chaos resists, HP and man on kill, and speed. When we're talking about speed, speed increases both cast speed and attack speed. Here's the weapon that the player is using. Look at the base damage, 1500, big base damage. You can then pause. I'm not going to be pausing and talking about all the options in the gears, just so we can save time. You can always go back in the video and read carefully all the options that they have enchanted on all their pieces of gear. The important important thing here is that you understand preferred authority here is Vesper because of poison damage application in the prefix, and there is a link in the description of this video so you can access this spreadsheet. It shows you all the options that you can get, prefixes, suffixes, uniques of all the authorities on all types of items. Second authorities here can be Safdar, Capri, and Miraceti. Defensive gear, you want to focus on increasing your armor, your HP, your mana, element that kills resist, stats. If you can get some damage options, it's great, and always try to reduce mana cost. As far as the helmet goes, she has a high armor helmet here, good stats, good options. Here's another option that you can get for helmet, which is Afro's Veil. This is very popular on all servers, very solid helmet. There are no great authorities for helmet, and you can go full armor of hybrid, and here's some good hybrid options. You can go element resist with armor dodge, or chaos resist also with armor dodge. Shoulders. Light's portrait is also a very famous, very popular, unique option. Preferred authorities are Lisa, Safdar, Capri, and Miraceti. You can go full armor or hybrid. Here are some options of hybrids with 6% mana cost reduction or melee damage because of Will Slash. The armor needs to be earth element because of the +3 levels. These +3 levels is not going for the toxic flame, it's going for the Will Slash, so it needs to be earth authority, which is Boreal. Go full armor or hybrid. Here are some hybrid options. Firm chain armor, which is armor and dodge rate, gives HP. Precise wool coat, which is armor and barrier. And you have here distinct felt coat, which reduces the damage that you take, as well as task force ring armor. Gloves. Gloves here, preferred authority is Vesper. Vesper is by far the best one. It's going to give you the unique element damage amplification, and you can get as a prefix element damage, and as a suffix you can get dot. Other good authorities are Aquila, Castor, and Elisa. Go full armor or hybrid. Here are some good hybrid options with mana cost dampening. Boots. Boots, you want to get one of these authorities here, Lisa, Castor, Vesper, or Miraceti, because they can reduce your mana cost. Go full armor, there's no need to go hybrid with boots. As far as necklaces go, the player is using a item drop rarity necklace, but that's not the one that I advise you guys to go. You should go with element damage necklace, and if you really need some help with your element resist, you could consider temporarily element resist necklace, but you should really aim for element damage. Focus on increasing element damage, poison damage, increasing your mana and HP, chaos and element resist, and stats. Belt. The belt, the preferred authority, well, they are all very similar, so I don't care. Preferred types are the strength, dexterity, or intelligence belt, or an HP belt, or a mana belt. Focus on your increasing mana and HP, element resist, stats, mana potion effect, mana potion cooldown, recovery speed. Those are very good options for you to put on your belt. Rings. This player goes for stat rings, but if you do not want to follow that strategy, you can go for a unique ring. The Safdar's Glory can give +2 levels to your Will Slash, 2 levels to your Toxic Flame, and 2 levels to your Poison Area at the same time. And if you're going for normal rings, go for element damage rings. They are the best for this build if we are focusing on damage. For the authority for rings, Safdar, it gives plus damage on the unique authority, and there are 2 prefixes that you can get that will give you damage amplifications. Now let's talk about charms. Charms, you want to go with Castor, and is a second option, Vesper. Try to get a Chaos Star as fast as possible. You can see here that this player's Chaos Star doesn't give him any useful options. What it gives him that is very useful, more useful than any options, is the Blessing, 72%, which helps him reach 140% Blessing faster. Just put as many casters as you can. Later on, you can substitute and replace those charms for better caster ones. But just put any caster that you can find so you can reach the 140% blessing as fast as possible, because those blessings, they are very, very strong and they can make a lot of difference. After you have the 140% and you are now searching for good charms, always focus on damage. But if you feel that your defense needs a boost, there are some armor increases and HP increases in charms that you can get. Damage upon attack is for Slash, so we go for damage upon attack. Forest is for both because it's element damage and generic damage. Then Rock, only 5 points on Rock. there's no need to spend 2 points to get 10% damage. He's okay with his element resist, so he went up to get more HP. And at trait 4, you go the damage upon attack dot, damage upon attack dot, and damage upon attack, but you also get melee because of the blue slash. At trait 5, he goes down the middle to help increasing the armor, because again, his element resist is already at maximum, so he does not feel the need to go up. And spending 2 points also to get 10% element damage is not a good idea, because there are better options for points later on. Trait 6, he goes breath all the way down to poison damage, poison penetration, sorry. I don't really like this, and I see a lot of people actually stopping here, because I'm not saying that poison penetration is bad. I'm saying 2 points to get 8% poison penetration is maybe not the best use of points. So I like stopping here, spending only 3 points in breath. And here, this is almost everyone get these. It's 3%, 3% HP, and 3% physical damage reduction. But see how he uses the Zodiac to cover holes in his defenses. So he's getting here some fire resist, probably because he needs these points to reach the maximum fire resist. Since he's taking these, he also takes this one because it's the next step. Don't blindly copy people, understand what they're doing, understand what works for you and what doesn't. This is a good example. This player has a very unique strategy using perfect dodge and getting the benefits from perfect dodge, as you can see here. 1% perfect dodge and recover 5% of max HP upon perfect dodge. I don't know how good that actually is. I have no idea. Air trait 7, he pushes for the kills resist, and down here he gets more physical damage reduction and armor. The maggot, the 40%. At trait 8, it's plague. Then here, Hunter. It spends 5 points to get alert movement. What alert movement does not allow your movement speed to fall below the base value. The base value is 600. So what happens is, you have 600 movement speed, and then you start using Whirlwind at common rarity. What is gonna happen? It's going to drop 35% your movement speed. At common rarity, your movement speed drops to 390. What people do is either invest in making your Whirlwind legendary, or you get alert movement and don't make Whirlwind legendary. Make it rare at the most, which is some players do. Now this player, he does both, because he wants the alert movement, because he wants to move as fast as possible, and he wants the Whirlwind legendary because he wanted to awaken it to get those damage reductions. And at Blacksmith, notice how he does not get the 15% HP amplification, because he does not want to disable dodge because of the perfect dodge strategy. As you can see here, another recover 5% of max HP upon perfect dodge, and he does get the physical damage taken dampening up here. So very unique strategy with the perfect dodge. Minstrel at trait 9, he stops here. Now, if you do not want to spend those points on alert movements here or those perfect dodges, there's 32% damage here for the take at the beginning of each 3 here. 8% here, 8% here, 8% here, and 8% here. So that's 32% with 4 points. Hammer is interesting. Hammer is going to give 15% damage upon attack, 15% dot, 40% dot, 15% dot, and dot amplification. Gives you some overpower and then gives you uplift. Wrath with Specialization 2, you get damage upon attack dot. There's here some dot amplification, some dot acceleration, and up here, the 7% damage upon attack for every enemy within a 400 radius, which can get as high as 150% damage. Now, Specialization 3, it's interesting here. He goes for the perfect dodge again. If you don't want the perfect dodge, you can get these notes here of damage upon attack, and there's here a 15% damage amplification. And there's another 15% damage amplification, but it's only against bosses. You're gonna need more damage against bosses than you're gonna need to clear maps, right? And on Enrage up here, every 4 seconds you will switch between the Enrage effect and the amplification effect. So half of the time you're increasing area of effect and weapon range, which are not very useful, and half of the time you're getting 10% damage amplification. So on average, this is like a 5% damage amplification. Main relic is Sefdar, okay? Because of the element damage amplification, it also gives you some great chaos resistance and element resist, and then you need to choose passives for your second and third relics. He went for Spica because he wants the armor one. You can go for Hamal for HP, Boreal for HP. You don't have to blindly follow him into getting Spica. Decide for yourself what's better for your defensive strategy. And I have 4 other great videos with different builds for you to watch, and I'll see you next time.